or whether or not you are not involved in the arson or the demolition of the State House of Assembly complex, because according to him, he said bags of money were given out for your boys, according to him, to carry out the demolition. And he said that there was also another person there, which means that there are witnesses to this matter. Now, there is also a very popular opinion out there that the governor was involved in the demolition of the State House of Assembly. And this is from the president on the state of emergency speech. And I'll read what the president, Bola Tinubu, said. He said, quote, also, it is public knowledge that the governor of Rivers State, for unjustifiable reasons, demolished the House of Assembly of the state as far back as the 13th of December 2023, and has up till now, 14 months later, after not rebuilt it. End of quote. How do you defend this? The monies, your boys that you said, and the witnesses. Can you defend yourself on that?
I'm sure you watched days ago when the administrator in company of the resigned head of service, George Wike, visited the House of Assembly complex, where the administrator himself, Rear Admiral Ibas retired, confirmed that the job is 80% completed and the contractor has been completely paid. So funding is not an issue. So this is an issue of misinformation. Anybody who has given brief decided to misinform the federal government. But we are not joining issue with Mr. President because he's part of the nation, and we believe in that in his wisdom, he has taken steps and actions that are in the best interest of Rivers State, Rivers people, and Nigeria. But for those who are around and who have been sending wrong information and updates. That being said, you asked an earlier question about the demolition of the House of Assembly. And I've said categorically that I have no hand, I was not privy, no information. I woke up in the early hours of 30th of October to hear that the assembly had been demolished. But it's important to clarify events leading to that date. You recall that I was leader of the 10th Rivers State Assembly under Martin Amaewhule as speaker. In the 9th Assembly, I was in the 8th Assembly, I was at the 9th Assembly and also the 10th Assembly. The 9th Assembly, I was the deputy speaker of the Rivers State Assembly, while Martin Amaewhule was the leader of the House. And so we have built this relationship, and the House has a procedure guided by the Constitution and the standing order. So we had finished screening commissioners on Friday, on Thursday, when we adjourned to a later date. So everyone went home. Peacefully, happily celebrated their constituents who had made the list. So it was not an issue. 30th, let me state it clearly, 30th October. We didn't adjourn to 30th October after we had finished sitting on Thursday the previous week. So, and let me also make a very crystal point. In the House of Assembly, after every sitting, whether they're sitting or not, after every working day, now after every working day, there is usually the security under the authority of Mr. Speaker. So when it is 6 p.m., nobody has access to the House of Assembly complex except Mr. Speaker on any emergency. Nobody. Meanwhile, the 29th of October was on a Sunday. So, if you say the assembly was burned down on a Sunday, go through the issues that were raised that day. In the case filed before Honorable Justice Aproko, before the Honorable Justice Obile, Federal High Court, And before the Federal Court in Abuja, Honorable Justice Emeka Wite, we had over 10 witnesses, including men of the Nigerian police, ASP, inspector, and other ranking police officers, including civil officer, security agents that were at the gate. They stated clearly in their witness statement of oath that they saw the convoy of the speaker driving. That is why they allowed him access in the night of 29th of October. So it was very clear. Go and read through their witness statement that they allowed that night, Sunday, not even a working day, access. Don't forget, the House of Assembly is sharing proximity almost opposite the Nigerian police headquarters in Rivers State, Moscow Road. So it is not possible to perpetrate any offense by way of gangsterism or anything. That's why they said that it was a convoy of the speaker. Who was the speaker? That's at October 29th. So that is why they opened the door, the gate, the entrance gate, and he drove in with his
Honorable Ehie,
it is only the speaker that has access to the River State House of
Honorable
Assembly
Amaewhule,
after working hours.
What exactly are you alleging? That Honorable Amaewhule should be asked a question? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because he was the speaker after then. He was the one and the only one who has access, whether in the wee hours, not to talk of a weekend. Once it is over 6 p.m., there is only one person who, for emergency, can access the River State House Assembly complex.